Have you ever faced a difficult choice between immediate profit and what is right? Ethics in business can be challenging, but it is in ethics that we find true freedom. Watch the message Titus has for you.
Religion is a path to reconnect us with God. It relies on timeless principles that shaped our morality and faith in the real. Choose the path that is based on love, charity, forgiveness, and the proof given to us with the coming of His Son, who taught us unconditional love, how to forgive, and to turn the other cheek. This is an invitation to show and teach, never to force.
Francis had always been a young man of great ambition. Since childhood, he found himself immersed in a universe of opportunities, always dreaming of a prosperous career in the business world. Son of a simple family, he grew up hearing how important it was to study, work hard, and take advantage of any chance that arose. His parents, both workers, could never give him much beyond the essentials, but they always encouraged him to seek more. Francis believed that success was a matter of persistence and, above all, of taking advantage of the opportunities life offered. Throughout his journey, he began to stand out in the technology market, investing in promising startups, those that, at first glance, seemed to have great potential for growth. He knew the formulas for success, knew how to build relationships with investors, and more than anything, had a strategic vision that made him an admired businessman. His passion for what he did and his desire to grow made him unbeatable, until one day, the opportunity of a lifetime arose before him. During a meeting with high-level investors, Francis was presented with an expansion proposal that could take his company to previously unimaginable levels. It was the kind of opportunity many business owners dream of having, and he knew that, if he accepted it, he could achieve considerable wealth and secure his position at the top. However, there was something that deeply bothered him. For the contract to be finalized, it would be necessary to bypass some rules and laws, involving questionable practices that were far from the principles he had been raised with. The temptation was great. The promise of astronomical profits and professional recognition intensely attracted him. The pressure to accept the proposal and follow the market flow suffocated him. Many of his business colleagues would not hesitate to follow this path, as the rewards were immense. But, in a moment of introspection, Francis felt paralyzed. The idea of compromising his progress and his ethics, of abandoning honesty to achieve success, seemed inconceivable to him, even in the face of the large sums that lay before him. It was then that a vision came upon him. He remembered the words his grandfather always told him: "Love and integrity are the foundation of all our choices, especially when adversity arises. True success is not in what we conquer, but in how we manage to get there." This memory brought him a silent yet firm peace, as if a light had been turned on inside him. As he closed his eyes, Francis imagined the face of the one who taught unconditional love, who preached forgiveness and the importance of turning the other cheek. These memories echoed in his mind, like a beacon guiding his actions. Love your neighbor as yourself. Francis felt a deep connection to this teaching, and it was as if his soul had found a foundation amidst the chaos of external pressures. He knew with all certainty that if he continued on the path of ethics and love for his neighbor, no matter the immediate price he would have to pay, he would be doing the right thing. This decision was not easy. He had to gather all his strength to refuse the proposal in front of the investors, who did not hide their disappointment. Francis firmly explained that he could not proceed with that deal. The pressure for him to change his mind was immense, but he remained unshakable. In his heart, he knew that sacrificing his standards for ephemeral financial gain was not worth it. The days that followed were difficult. Francis felt the pain of rejection, the weight of not having accepted the opportunity. Uncertainty surrounded him. How would his career fare? How could he maintain his company in such a competitive market, where everyone seemed willing to flexibilize principles in the name of success? But surprisingly, what happened next was something he never imagined. In a market that was increasingly saturated with dubious practices, Francis's decision became an example of business conduct. His attitude ended up being widely publicized, and soon investors and partners began to emerge, seeking a businessman with a high standard of honesty. In a short time, Francis discovered new ways to expand his business. He realized that by prioritizing good standards, he was creating a network of sustainable relationships that did not rely on deceptive artifices. He reinforced his good standards. The most surprising thing, however, was the personal transformation Francis experienced. The confidence he felt in his own decisions increased, and he began to live with a sense of inner peace that had previously seemed unattainable. He understood that material success would never be complete without the peace of a clear conscience and the certainty of following the paths that truly matter. Francis learned that true success comes not just from large financial profits, but from choices made with honesty, compassion, and a solid ethical foundation. He reflected on the impact of his actions. By choosing to do what is right, even when it meant giving up great financial advantages, he gained strength with a life based on solid values, a life that would make a difference to the people around him. The choices we make in business reveal our true connection to the divine. Choosing to act ethically in every transaction brings not only material success, but also inner peace. These words echoed in his mind whenever he faced a new challenge, reminding him that every decision was an opportunity to align his life with the divine purpose. He knew that, in a world so full of temptations and shortcuts, true freedom lay in living according to the high principles that the Almighty Lord taught us. The impact of his decision was not limited to material success. Francis's choices became a living testament to how the acceptance of thoughts founded on respect, integrity, and ethics can not only transform a life but also generate positive impacts throughout the surrounding community. He learned finally that the greatest success is not measured only by what is gained, but mainly by what one is capable of offering to others. As a great gain, Francis realized that the true preparation for success did not come just from business techniques or market strategies. The preparation came from within, from the way he chose to live his life, from the small and large decisions he made based on the Lord's ancient teachings with the principles of love and ethics he chose to embrace. And with this, Francis knew that by choosing the path of integrity, he not only found prosperity, he found the important thing, which is peace, the freedom with the purposes taught by the Lord's words for our lives. See below what Titus found in the Word, which corroborates Francis's assertions.
Francis's choices were born from his respect for the ancient teachings. This first passage, Matthew chapter 7, verse 12, "Therefore all things whatsoever ye would that men should do to you, do ye even so to them." The passage highlights the principle of reciprocity and ethics in relationships. In the context of Francis's story, he was faced with a choice that could harm others for his personal benefit. The moral of this passage suggests that we should treat others as we would like to be treated, and act with integrity and honesty, even when no one is watching. By deciding to act ethically, Francis was following this fundamental principle, showing that the moral decisions we make have an impact not only on us but also on others. Moving on to passage 2, we find in Philippians chapter 4, verse 8 that says, "Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things." This passage from Philippians reinforces the importance of making choices based on high principles, such as justice and purity. By choosing to follow the path of ethics and integrity, Francis was aligning his life with Christian teachings, seeking not just profit, but the common good and virtue. He applied the principles of nobility and justice in his professional life, always seeking to act in accordance with what was right and worthy. In passage 3, Luke chapter 6, verse 31 we have, "And as ye would that men should do to you, do ye also to them likewise." This passage is almost identical to Matthew chapter 7, verse 12. And its repetition in the Bible demonstrates the profound importance of this teaching. Francis, in his story, did exactly that. He chose to act in a way that reflected the kind of treatment he would like to receive. By choosing ethics in his business, he was reflecting this idea, giving others the same respect and consideration he would like to receive. Next, we will hear Apollos' reflections on Francis's stances.
Francis learned the hard way that true prosperity comes from integrity, ethics, and love. In a world where many seek success at any cost, his choice to follow the path of honesty and morality was a testament to faith and courage. The focus of the story is clear: the difficult decisions we make, based on high principles, free us from the chains of selfishness and greed. Ethics is not just an abstract value, but a direct reflection of our relationship with the divine. When we choose to act with love, respect, and honesty, we are closer to God and His will for us. In return, what Francis received was not just a victory in business, but a true inner transformation. He discovered that true freedom comes from living according to our deepest values. This inner peace is what brings lasting success, not quick profit or momentary victories. We are very grateful if you can take a moment to like this video. This helps us continue to offer good messages and thoughts. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell to not miss our future reflections. Your comments are very important to us. Don't forget that you have more details and the sociological focus in the description below. Share the video and leave us your comment and interests. so we can address them in upcoming videos. Francis, now more than ever, knows that love and ethics will always be the most powerful guides for his future. And by choosing this route, he became an example of faith, perseverance, and true prosperity for everyone around him. We are happy to have you with us at Think Strong. If you enjoyed this video, there is another video on the screen now that will further deepen your life with ethics and integrity in business. Believe us, these reflections can change your way of thinking and your harvests. Have joy and happiness. We'll see you there.